I'll call to order this regular meeting of the Board of Public Works being held here virtually on Tuesday, May 12th of 2020. First up, we have messages from board members. Do we have any messages from the board this evening?
Just another thank you and good job to all of the workers in the city who are doing such a fantastic job keeping our city running.
Yes, I definitely echo that as well. Next up is petitions and remonstrances. If there is anyone who would like to make a public comment about something that is not on our agenda, now is the opportunity to do that. Do we have any public comment not related to items on our agenda?
I have nothing on Facebook at this time.
Okay, thank you. We will go ahead and move forward with Title VI enforcement, permission to abate property at 702 South Washington. Oh, John, you're muted.
*6. I know he's there.
Okay, sorry about that. It didn't give me the same unmute capability that it gave me the last time. So I've written tickets at this property, 3 tickets, 2 of them, or one warning, and then 3 tickets with fines, 50, 150, or 50, 100, and 150. The owner is hoping to appeal the $150 ticket. I don't know that if that's on this agenda or the next one, but the first 2 tickets allowed us to bring this to the Board of Public Works for the request to abate the property if he's not going to take care of it.
The last notice of violation you wrote was the end of April. You haven't written one in May.
I don't have them memorized, I'm sorry to say.
Okay, no, I didn't see one in May. I just wondered if you'd been to the property recently.
I was there. I was there yesterday. I took some photos yesterday, and then since we were coming, there was really no reason to write another ticket.
Okay, all right.
Since we already were here, and he was already appealing the one that I'd written. So.
Okay, so nothing has changed at all about the appearance of the property?
Nothing has changed that I have seen. I spoke, the property owner called me earlier today and said that it will be 100% clean tomorrow.
Oh, all right.
But, that doesn't affect today until I can actually verify it. And yeah, so.
Okay, all right, thank you, that's good. So we'll go ahead and abate it, and then you'll go from there. Let us know.
That's what we're seeking permission for, yes.
Okay, all right.
All right, are there any questions from the board on this item?
None other than ones I just asked. Sorry, I jumped in.
All right. Are there any public comments or any comments from the property owner by chance they're with us?
There are no comments on Facebook at this time.
Thank you. Is there a motion from the board?
I move that we abate the property at 207 South Washington Street.
Second.
Is that address is 702? Is that correct?
South Washington.
South Washington.
Yeah, 702.
That's 702 South Washington.
All right.
Not west, south. Yeah.
We have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm going to leave this iPad with Mike Arnold for later in the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
And you can
All right, next we have consent agenda. First up under consent agenda is the approval of minutes for April 28th of 2020 and also approval of payroll. Do we have any items that need to be removed from the consent agenda? Hearing none. Do we have any public comment on any of the items within the consent agenda?
I see none on Facebook at this time.
All right. Do we have a motion on the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Next up, we have new business. First under new business is resolution 2020-23, approve order to seal unsafe structure at 1010 West First Street.
Yeah, Mike Arnold from Hand. This is a property that we first sent a request late last year, maybe it was October, November, to seal the structure. It's got some open windows and an open basement door. I spoke with the owner about the property. He was asking for additional time to address this issue because I think, if I understood right, he's using this property as a staging area for the work that's being done next door, which is a pretty big remodel parcel demo job that he's got going. So nothing has been done to seal the structure, and it seems as though work is slowed or stopped at the building next door. So what we've done is sent an order to repair for the building at 1018 and an order to seal for the property at 1010. The order to repair does not need to go to the board unless the owner requests it, and the property at 1010 does need to go to the board because we're requesting it be sealed for more than 90 days. So we're asking that you uphold the request to seal the structure at 1010 West First.
Are there questions from the board on this item?
Yesterday, I asked if you thought there were people living there temporarily, and you thought maybe there were. When the structure is sealed, then they won't be able to obtain entry into the building. Is that what you're hoping?
Yeah, that's the intent. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Any public comment on this item?
I see none on Facebook at this time.
All right. Is there a motion on this item?
I move that we approve resolution 2020-23 to approve the order to seal the unsafe structure at 1010 West First Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thanks. Next, approve change order number 1 for the West Allen Street traffic calming.
Good evening, Russell White with City Planning and Transportation. This West Allen Street traffic calming project included the installation of 2 raised crosswalks and a speed hump on West Allen between South Adams Street and South Patterson Drive. This change order is due to an unforeseen conflict between 2 existing utilities and a new storm line that was installed. The original contract amount for this project was $174,960. If approved, this change order will result in an increase of $25,025.35. So the adjusted total contract sum would be $199,9835. Staff recommends approval of this change order. Any questions?
Questions from the board on this item?
Russell, would you just explain how far down they had to dig to be able to make that correction?
Of course. The original line would have been 2 to 3 feet deep, but they had to go an additional 4 feet to get under a utility line and a CBU water line that we weren't sure exactly where it was located, but unfortunately was located right in the middle of where this new storm line had to go. So they had to go quite a bit deeper.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on this item? Any public comment on this item?
None on Facebook at this time.
Okay. Do we have a motion on this item?
I move approval of change order number 1 for the West Allen Street traffic calming project.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right, next up we have approved change order number 1 for the Sayre Road right-of-way clearing.
This is Russell White again with City Planning and Transportation. I'm presenting this for Craig Schonkweiler, the former city traffic and transportation engineer. This change orders for the contract for South Sayre Road right-of-way clearing and was awarded to Monroe LLC. This tree clearing along South Sayre Road from approximately College Mall Road to Buttonwood Lane was to clear vegetation on the west side of the road in preparation for a multi-use path to go in. As detailed in Mr. Schonkweiler's memo, this change order is due to Monroe LLC working extra days with a 5-man crew and and that had to be done to remove a 100-foot tall oak tree that was not originally noted on the plans. And there was some confusion as to the way the plans were designed. There was trees that were called out specifically to be removed. And there were some yellowed out areas that's called about removal, but there were trees in there that the contractor was confused whether the trees inside the yellow area were removed since they weren't highlighted as such. So what this amounts to is this change order would be a $6,380 increase of the project, which was originally quoted at $31,900. So the new contract amount would be $38,280 or 20% above the original contract. Staff recommends approval of these change orders.
Thank you. Questions from the board on this item?
Russell, I understand that the reason for the cost of this is because it's such a large tree and it requires a crane to remove it.
That is correct. They had to bring in a specialized crane to cut the tree in sections and lower it so it wouldn't cause any damage to the street and they could allow traffic to flow through. So yeah, it took quite a bit of extra equipment to get this tree down.
Thank you.
We did also discuss during the work session that was what also resulted in the additional work days for the crew was that process of handling the crane coming in and the cutting of that particular tree. Those weren't two separate issues. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And I was just going to mention that even though it is 20% of the original contract, it does not exceed 20%. So it still is within the Public Works law regarding change orders, correct?
That is correct.
And we don't anticipate any other change orders coming forward from this project.
At this point, the tree clearing or the right-of-way clearing is done. So the path will start later on this year. So at this point, any change orders for tree clearing there would be no more.
Thanks. Any other questions from the board?
No.
Are there any public comments on this item?
I see none on Facebook at this time.
Thank you. Is there a motion from the board?
I move that we approve change order number 1 for the Sayre Road right-of-way clearing.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thanks. Next up is approve request for right-of-way use on East 14th Street from Willem Construction.
Hi, this is Sarah Gomez, the Planning and Transportation Department. Wilhelm, along with Zerbuck, are requesting to use the city right-of-way on the north side of the newly constructed part of 14th Street between the bypass and newly named Discovery Parkway. The request is to have a good staged parking area to facilitate parking needs adjacent to the job site trailers for the new IU Health Hospital contractors, architects, engineers, and other employees that might need to use those job trailers. The right-of-way use staged parking area would be continuous beginning May 18th and end March 31st, 2021. Zerbuck has supplied a site plan for the proposed temporary parking area. They've also sent emails to personnel they are working with at IU, and IU Health to confirm their approval for the temporary parking area. And they have also confirmed with NDOT personnel who are currently working at the intersection of the bypass and 14th to confirm their approval. NDOT approved upon the condition that the hospital project be responsible for repairing the area to specifications of NDOT's plan sheet at their own cost once they are done using the area, since this is within the scope of NDOT's current intersection project. Zerbuck confirmed via email that the hospital is aware that cost and completion of final repairs would be their responsibility. So staff has reviewed the request and recommends granting permission to Wilhelm Construction and Zerbuck Development for the use of the right-of-way for the staged parking.
Thank you. Questions from the board on this item?
Sarah, I think I asked yesterday about the bike path, which is a city project. Will that also be included in the repair if it's damaged by IU Health? Will they include that bike path repair?
The bike path is outside of the area they'll be using, but I believe Mr. Lutz is online here as well, and maybe he could just confirm with us that if they do happen to damage the bike path, that they would be able to repair that.
Yep. Yeah. We don't plan to. We'll put our fence just outside the bike path, so we don't intend to touch that. But if there is any sort of repair required, we would happily take that with everything else we have to do here.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Other questions from the board on this item? Are there any public comments on this item?
I see none on Facebook at this time.
Thank you. Is there a motion on this item?
I move that we approve the request for right-of-way use on East 14th Street from Wilhelm Construction. That would be from May 18th, 2020 to March 31st, 2021.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Next, we have approved final plat of Whitehall Plaza.
Hi again, Sarah Gomez, Planning and Transportation Department. The Whitehall Crossing Subdivision Amendment 9 final plat was approved through the Plat Committee June 10th, 2019. This plat was previously approved by the Board of Public Works on February 18th of 2020. Due to a county project along Gates Drive, an amendment was made on the north property line of the plat and therefore needs board approval again. The final plat includes the requirements for street trees. The public improvement bond was reviewed and approved by the board at the 2/18 meeting and remains as previously approved. The bond is on file with the Planning and Transportation Department. Staff recommends the approval of the final plat.
Questions from the board on this item?
No.
Do we have any public comment on this item?
I see none on Facebook at this time.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve final plat of Whitehall Plaza.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have approved change orders number 1 through 6 for Bloomington Police Department Training Annex Building.
Yes, this is JD Bora, Public Works Department. Do you want to vote on each of the change orders individually, or you want me to run through them and then vote on them as a group?
Go ahead and run through them together. Jackie, do you have an opinion on whether they need to be approved separately, or can we approve them as 1 through 6?
I think they should be approved individually because they each stand on their own. They could have been 6 separate items. We just put them together for convenience, but I think the vote would be for each.
Okay, so if you could just give us an overview of all of them, and then we will make motions on each of them individually.
Okay. Change order number 1 was based on review by the Bloomington Fire Department. It was determined that the building needed to be broken into 2 fire areas with a firewall. And this required additional drywall work and framing work and installation of fire dampers in the attic where the ductwork crosses. The cost of this change order was $7,164. That represented a 0.9% change in the contract amount. Change order number 2 will facilitate the installation of a 960 square foot concrete apron where the asphalt drive transitions into the existing gravel drive. CBU uses this area to access the north end of the Winston Thomas property, and there'll be a lot of truck traffic, and we requested this so the edge of the asphalt drive wouldn't be broken down by the trucks entering the area. Let's see. Change order number 3. During the course of excavation for the foundation of the building, we encountered unsuitable soil to build the foundations on. So there was an additional cost of $22,226 for 136 triaxle loads of dirt. We had to increase the height of the foundation wall around the entire foundation. We increased it by 4 feet on the east side and 6 feet on the west side. That required additional 21 cubic yards of concrete with a cost of $28,8750. We were given a credit of $200 for providing the cores for lock cylinders. Prior to construction, they had to remove approximately 200 feet of chain link fence on the west side of the property at a cost of $310. And we also installed 2 washing machine boxes with plumbing and 2 120 volt electrical outlets in the evidence room area. This was to facilitate some Bloomington Police Department evidence equipment, processing equipment. Change order number 4 was once they started installing the HVAC system, they realized that they needed some additional material, and this change order lists that additional material. The material and labor has a cost of $580. This represents a 0.7% increase in the total amount of the contract. Change order number 4.
That was number
All right,
4.
change order number 5, I'm sorry. This is for the addition of 2 spring-loaded plywood doors in the attic area. This would meet the fire stop requirements for the attic space, but allow servicing of mechanical facilities up in the attic to provide access between the fire areas. The cost is $1,622.97. Represents a 0.2% increase in the project cost. Change order number 6. After the garage area is finished, BPD staff determined they wanted to paint the interior of the garage space. This is for aesthetic reasons, as well as protecting the drywall from the moisture that might be generated in the garage space. The additional cost of the painting was $7,705, and that represents a 1% increase in the contract amount. Be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you. Questions from the board on change orders 1 through 6?
JD, I asked yesterday about change order number 3 and the soil removal. You confirmed that that was not contaminated soil. I wanted to.
Yes, this was just the ground was considered unsuitable because of compaction. It wasn't to do with the anything
contamination.
Well, we inspected the soil as we excavated some test areas and found nothing of concern.
Good, thank you. When will they complete this project?
We suspect that we'll be doing the final punch list within 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks.
Good. Thank you.
Any other questions on change orders 1 through 6? All right, any public comment on change orders 1 through 6?
I see no comments on Facebook at this time.
All right, do we have a motion on change order number 1?
I move that we approve. Go ahead, Donna.
I move that we approve change order number 1.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Do we have a motion on change order number 2?
I move that we approve change order number 2.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Do we have a motion on change order number 3?
I'll move approval of change order number 3.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Do we have a motion on change order number 4?
I move that we approve change order number 4.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Do we have a motion on change order number 5?
I move approval of change order 5.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Do we have a motion on change order number 6?
I move that we approve change order number 6.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motions pass. So, thanks. You too. Next up, we have staff reports and other business.
Michael Large, Department of Public Works. Just very quickly, I'd like to reiterate the board's sentiments to all of our street staff out there every single day, getting ahead of the game and maintaining projects. We are far ahead of where we thought we would be this time of the year. That is the silver lining with everything that's going on right now, is that we are able to punch these projects out that we thought we would still be into in June and July. Atwater is almost completely paved. The Kirkwood project is probably, at my estimate, about 9 weeks ahead of its original scheduled completion date. So we're really getting at it and getting a lot of things knocked out. So just a big thank you to all of our staff. Please be safe, and thank you, board members, for allowing us to do what we do on a daily basis.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you. Next up, we have approval of claims. Do we have any questions from the board on the claims?
No questions.
Is there a motion on claims?
I move that we approve claims $2,569,702.78.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. And if we have no other business, then I will call for adjournment.
Meeting is adjourned. Great.
Thank you,
Thanks.
everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a great
you.
night.
Yeah.
Be
Thank
careful.
you. Thank you.
You too.
In 2 weeks. You too.